There is a pervasive internet theory, famously echoed by science communicators like Carl Sagan, that the destruction of the Library of Alexandria robbed humanity of a futuristic golden age. At its peak, this Egyptian institution housed up to 500,000 papyrus scrolls. It functioned as the ancient world's premier research university. Scholars there performed highly sophisticated work. As this diagram illustrates, Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the Earth by measuring the geometric angle of shadows between Alexandria and Syene. If this massive repository of genius hadn't burned down, would we currently be colonizing Mars? Or is our understanding of history entirely backward? The story usually points to a single apocalyptic event. The most famous target of blame is the Roman general Julius Caesar, whose troops accidentally set a fire at the harbor during a civil war in 48 BC. Fires did happen. However, the library survived that blaze and continued to operate for centuries afterward. The actual cause of its demise was much slower. Driven by shrinking budgets, shifting political priorities, and the incredibly humid Mediterranean air, the delicate papyrus scrolls simply rotted away. To evaluate what we lost, we must stop imagining a heroic rescue from a burning building and instead imagine a fully funded archive surviving perfectly intact into the modern era. It is true that the library housed remarkable engineering concepts. Inventors like Ctesibius were already experimenting with pneumatics and early steam-powered devices. But turning a steam toy into a locomotive requires specific economic pressures. As this flowchart shows, the Roman and Hellenistic economies ran on abundant, cheap slave labor. There was little financial incentive to invest in expensive automated machinery. Crucial scientific breakthroughs were not kept in a single vulnerable vault. Vital texts on math, astronomy, and physics were aggressively copied and shared with competing libraries across the Mediterranean, like the one in Pergamum. Those surviving copies eventually circulated outward, fueling the Islamic Golden Age and providing the intellectual bedrock for the European Renaissance anyway. Having the library survive to the present day would not have fast-tracked a modern industrial revolution. Societal progress requires the combination of economic demand and preserved knowledge. The real tragedy lies in the specific medical and cultural insights that failed to escape Alexandria. We lost the pioneering texts of Herophilus, a physician who meticulously mapped the human cardiovascular and nervous systems. Perhaps worse, the broader scientific method practiced at the library disappeared. The vital habit of combining theoretical math with physical, hands-on experimentation stalled out for over a millennium, but the heaviest casualties were in the humanities. What perished was the deep daily context, the intimate philosophy, and the introspective soul of a highly sophisticated literary culture. We are missing massive portions of ancient literature, including the original plays of masters like Sophocles and Euripides, and the expansive epic poems that completed the story of the Trojan War. We also lost Callimachus's Pennices, a monumental 120-scroll master catalog that rigorously organized, authenticated, and validated all known ancient knowledge. The flames consumed the memories, poetry, and identity of the ancient world. This cultural silence represents a far more profound loss than the hypothetical blueprints for spaceships. If the library stood today, we wouldn't have time-traveling technology. What we would have is an unbroken, perfectly documented dialogue with our ancestors. Major historical blind spots would be solved entirely. We would know the exact construction methods of ancient monuments and possess the first-hand accounts of early Northern European exploration. The library ultimately perished through centuries of bureaucratic apathy and a society that simply stopped funding its survival. Knowledge does not survive simply by being placed inside a grand building. It only survives when a society actively and continuously chooses to care for it.